and it is toxic in the sense that the students can't afford to pay this debt back, and they can't get out of it. You can't file bankruptcy. So it's a big toxic time bomb on our hands, so we have to do something about it. So what they could do is, for QE4, buy up $1 trillion in asset-backed securities backed by student loans and rip them up. And what would happen is it would not hurt it would not inflate prices, as everybody fears. This would be $1 trillion that you're adding to the money supply, because according to the Fed's own figures, the money supply has shrunk by $3 trillion since 2008. So we need $3 trillion more out there just to put the money supply back to where it was before the Wall Street crisis. So, that's still only 1/3 of what we need. So it would be very stimulative to the economy, because what we need in the economy is demand. Like, we need consumers out there buying stuff. And who does the most buying? The young people. They buy the new homes, they buy the cars, they buy the electronics, they frequent the malls. It's the students who love to shop. I mean, the old people already, or the more mature people are. We already have what we need, more or less, pretty much. So older people and bankers and rich people and the 1%, they do not shop. They use their money for money making more money, and so that's why you have this parasitic drain off the top of the system, pulling profits out. They're not reinvesting their money into the economy. They're reinvesting it into money-making money. In other words, they don't say, "Here's my dollar, give me a loaf of bread." They say, "Here's my dollar, give it back to me with more." And so it's always this mathematical unsustainability, which I'll get to. Okay, so that's my little pitch for what the Fed should do with their quantitative easing for, and how you might get out of your student debt quite neatly and cleanly. And we should have been paying for student debt we should have been paying tuition in the first place. I went to Berkeley for free. It was free when I hate to reveal my age, but it was free when I went to Berkeley. And I went to UCLA Law School for $600 a year, and that was tuition. It is now $35,000 a year. This is a state school. That's $35,000 a year for in-state students, $45,000 for out-of-state. So that all of that should have been free. If we put kids all the way through high school, we should put them through college. Why do we stop at high school? And it's not an expenditure, it's an investment, as the GI Bill proved. The GI Bill was one of the most lucrative investments the government ever made. It returned 200% just in taxes. In other words, they got back twice as much in taxes as they put out there, and it returned 600% in terms of stimulating the economy. So if the government did that again, let's say with $1 trillion in waiving tuition, you could even waive the past tuition, for people who you could do it retroactively and just get that money out there. It would be a very good investment it would be good for the economy, be good for the people. It would restore the possibility of the American dream for young people who, instead of getting out of school with this huge debt burden on their backs, would actually have the possibility of getting a job and doing, science and arts and all the things that we should be investing in. So that's my pitch on the tuition. Okay, so public banking. I'm going to argue that my Catholic summary is that we need public banks because all of our money today, virtually all of it, is created by banks. And we've given that sovereign power away to a private cartel. And if we want that power back, we have to have our own banks, which create money the way they do.
Did you hear that, folks? We've given that power away. She said, well, we have no authority to do it, but the banksters have got it, and it's up to us to take charge. It's up to us and Donald Trump to take charge. Just thought I'd insert some comment there. If you have any comments, give us a call. 702-493-5222. That's 493-5222. Or 702-983-0711. 983-0711. If you're listening to a rebroadcast, we're currently on from 1 to 2 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Let's get back to Ellen.
Where does money come from?
Okay, there was a picture of a stork with carrying a baby, but instead of that, the baby was replaced by some money. So I'm guessing that Ellen's going to tell us that the money doesn't come from a stork.
Most people think that money is created by the government. We've all seen these pictures of the printing presses, this is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which is in fact a government agency. But the Bureau of Engraving and Printing is just the printer. The customer is the Federal Reserve, and they put in the order for the bills, and they get them for 6 cents, or roughly 6 cents a bill, no matter what the face amount is. So if it's a $100 bill, they get it for 6 cents. And they do not, they do not, contrary to these pictures you see of the helicopter flying, helicopter Ben dropping dollars on the economy, they do not give them away. They don't give them to us, and they don't give them to the government. They lend them. So even the dollars that come into existence from the Federal Reserve are lent into the economy. They're lent to other banks, which then lend them to individuals or corporations and the government, all at interest. It's not just the Federal Reserve, but all banks that create money in this way with accounting entries. There are many authorities that have said this, but one that I like particularly well because he encapsulated it well was Robert B. Anderson, who was Treasury Secretary under Eisenhower, and he said, when a bank makes a loan, it simply adds to the borrower's deposit account in the bank by the amount of the loan. The money is not taken from anyone else's deposit. It was not previously paid into the bank by anyone. It's new money created by the bank for the use of the borrower. So this is the textbook model of how money comes into existence. It's not totally accurate, but that's like banking 201. This is banking 101. You start with your $100 deposit. You're supposed to hold back 10% if there's a 10% reserve requirement. So then you're allowed to make a $90 loan, and then that $90 will become a deposit in the borrower's account, which becomes a check, which goes into another bank. Now so that bank now has $90. It holds back $9 and writes an $81 check, which goes into the next bank, and it holds back 10%. So $100 becomes $1,000 or $10,000 in this chart from the